Hello, 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 hello. How are you? Quick question before we do anything else. Did you know that 20% of women feel confident about their retirement planning? I didn't say 80%, or I didn't say that they 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 feel wonderful. Only let me repeat it. Only 20% of women feel confident about their retirement planning according to surveys. These statistics show us how critical it is for women, us, especially those of us over 40, to start talking about taking control of our financial futures. However, tonight, we're not going to do what you think we're going to do, telling you, what you should have done or could have done or need to do right now. We're going to talk about alternatives. So, and we have a special guest joining us to do that. So before we get started in the meat and potato of that conversation, let me tell you what this is all about, what this program is all about. So here goes. And thank you, those of you who are joining us, for being here. It's a woman's perspective. The name has changed, but the conversations remain the same. It's now a woman's perspective. The Daughters of Sheba Foundation will continue its tradition. Nothing will take us off track from the woman's perspective. Join us each month. Okay, enough of that. Time to talk about F retirement. And with me to do that this evening, I have my compatriot, my partner in wrongdoings, my 29 my 29-year-old plus partner in wrongdoings, Clara Brown. How are you, madam?
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
What you always like going like say you're some prude or something.
I continue to be 29 and happy.
You go, girl, if that's
So,
what floats your boat. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
girl.
My name is
Captain
Claudia
of
Esther
National.
Campbell, and I am the president and chairperson of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. The Daughters of Sheba Foundation is going on. Are we 4 years? Yeah, we're now 4 years. A 4 year, going on 5 years, nonprofit organization. We are a Canadian organization based in Edmonton, Alberta, and we used to do most of our work in Jamaica, but that has changed and is changing more and more each day. We now have a good contact in Nigeria who is very much supporting us. So tonight, as we always do, our conversations are for women because this is a women's organization, although I notice a lot of men come in here and misbehaving themselves, but we love them. I'm Jamaican by birth, so every now and again I will break out into my non-Canadian accent, so and language. So Clara is based in Kingston, Jamaica, and we have a very special guest with us this evening to help us with our topic, F retirement, financial independence for women over 40. Or if you want to be proper, building financial independence for women over 40. Tonight, our special guest, and I bring her in, is Charlene Fagan. Hi, Charlene. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, Clara. Hey,
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 Charles.
Steve.
How are you, girl?
I am, I am fantastic.
Amazing and
So you went
ablazing.
out. So you went out and got those glasses just for the appearance,
No,
Charles.
darling, no, darling. I have for every occasion. I have for every occasion.
Okay, this is not about glasses, although I'm a lover of glasses myself. Tonight's special guest, Charlene Fagan, is Charlene Fagan, England. She's an adjunct professor. She lives in Toronto. Oh, no, not in Toronto. She lives in Ontario. I don't want to tell you where she lives, but she lives in Ontario, not Toronto, though. She's an adjunct professor. She's a transformation empowerment speaker and agent, and she's an author. So we are so happy to have Charlene with us tonight. And Charlene, as I said, she's a Jamaican Canadian. And according to her bio, her primary role above all others is to be the best and most positive influence to her two sons. Second to that is her passion for people by sharing her stories of triumph and adversities. Tonight, we want to talk about money, money, money in a rich man's world as women. And not just any woman, but as women who are over the age of 40, 40 and over. So Clara is just here to make up numbers because she's just 29.
Observation,
So,
observation, just for observation
oh, she's just
and
here
learning.
observing. Just let us say good night to some people. Hi, Colleen. Thanks for joining us. I know you're unashamedly over 40, as well as our other director, Gloria Williams. Thank you for joining us, Gloria. Janice, thank you for being here. And Doreen, Lorna, thank you, beautiful lady, as we are beautiful ourselves. And hello, Carella, long time no see. And Lorna, she is so polite. She's wishing you a good evening, Charlene, to
And
our
a good evening to
platform.
you as well, my dear.
So tonight we want to talk about money, and we want to talk about changing the narrative. You know, we want to discuss why it's crucial to challenge traditional retirement narratives. You know, traditionally, retirement planning has always been tied to working a stable job for 30 to 40 years. I've never worked a job for 30 years, much less 40. And then relying on that, the pension or the savings from that job. However, that model is no longer applying to many modern women, especially those who may have taken breaks for caregiving or they experienced career changes or faced job instability. So, what do women like I'm in that group. What do women like this do, you know, when you do not have in a states, I think they call it 401k and or this pension plan that you can fall back on, or you're expecting a pension from your government job or your big job to take you through your last years. Now, financial independence is more than just about retirement, it's about empowerment. And that's what we do here at the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. We always talk about empowerment and security, regardless of whatever age you are. So I want us to start off this conversation by hearing from Charlene first. Let her set the stage for us in terms of women who don't have that nest egg at 40, 45, 50, whatever. Can you just start us off by, should they be panicking?
That is it's a big question because it's so complex, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I am a planner, but I'm not a forward way into never planner. I'm not. I'm guilty of not being a 10 year from now planner. I think there is this notion that we should panic if we don't have the 401k or the R what's ours called,
RRSP, we call it here.
RRSP. We should be worried about retirement. For someone who is my answer is not even, it's not even simple. I am a free spirit. I really just live day to day, but I don't live without a plan, if you know what I mean. I don't have a rigid plan. I remember, and I'll just share this with you quickly. I remember going for an interview, and the interviewer asked me, the standard questions, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years.
And I remember saying, darling, I don't even see myself in a
5
year from
months.
now. I don't even know what's going to happen a year from now, because I've really never had a job like yourself, Claudette. I've never had a job for more than 3 years. My teaching job, if you notice, I'm an adjunct, which means I don't have a full time.
You're not tenured.
I'm not tenured, and I don't stay in one situation for long. I'm always having multiple streams of income. I wouldn't say panic. I would say still have a plan. Still kind of make sure you have a little something put down. Don't depend on children. Don't depend on job security, because I don't know. I've never had a secure job, quite frankly. I've been teaching for 35 years on and off. So I've been in the field of education for 35 years, if you want to count my number of years as an educator. But I wouldn't say panic. I would just say try and have a little plan for yourself. Put on something so that you can be comfortable. Try and manage your spending. Talking to myself. Manage your spending, especially in these years. I am 40 plus tax, Clara.
At least you're close to me. I am 50 plus tax.
No girlfriend. Truth be told, I am over 50, right? And I'm not ashamed. I'm one of those who talk about my age.
Me too.
I'm 60. I turned 60 in June this year.
Okay. So I'm 60 in February of next year.
Okay, so I'm a little ahead of you. There you go. So for the children in the room, I'm not panicking. I'm just not worried. Should I be? If I listen to conventional wisdom and what people say, I probably should be panicking, because last time I checked my account, I didn't see the millions that I've been investing. I'm like, where's my money? Some money out of my account. So I would say just manage your spending, manage your life, live your life. I just say live. Right now, when people ask me what I'm doing, I'm living.
Yeah. I one spiritual person that I listen to says that when anybody asks you what you're doing, living.
Yeah.
What you doing tomorrow? Living.
Yeah.
Janice says, no, sounds like you are on the U track. And Gloria says that there's no need to panic. Okay. Well, Clara, I know you have the 401k and all of that. And all of that. What are your thoughts on this as we open? Just an opening thought. I know you can't relate.
I would have panicked if I didn't have my reality check very, very early in because I remember I had this wonderful plan back 23. I'm gonna have a full-time job, get my first house. 23 come and I forgot that I was even 23. So reality set in. Then come 30 or 29.
Then 6 years later, which is right now, yeah.
And then the thing about it too is that at 40, I realized that I had 20 more years to go for my mortgage. I could have panicked. I said, what the hell did I get myself into? So as Charlene has indicated, yes, you have a plan. Don't be careless. And you must be alert. You must be aware that, okay, you have to, if you want to have the quality of life that you are working towards, you have to have a plan. But don't get up tomorrow morning and say, oh, Let me check the plan to see if I can go out on the to the beach today. Spend the 5,000 or $10,000. Go to the beach. I go on a resort. I don't do that. Nope. 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 I get up,
All
put
right.
on my lipstick, and say, "Here I come."
So let us discuss some of the common challenges that women face regarding retirement savings. Why many women, myself included, sounds like Charlene included, why we might not have been in a position that Clara is in, let us say. Let's just use her as the example of the traditional. So one of the first things that I came across, I don't know what your research told you, ladies, was the gender pay gap. As women, on average, we still earn less than men. And that means it leads to a smaller retirement savings than a man in the same position at the same level of job level as we are. So, as an
Absolutely,
example, on
Shirley.
average, women, at least in Canada and in the United States, earn around 82 cents for every dollar earned by men, which significantly impacts our ability to long term wealth accumulation. So I am not going to lie and say that that was my situation because I was earning less than the men, but it's a reality for lots of women that they never, no matter the job title they had, they never earned at the same level as men with similar job titles. What do you think about that, Charlene?
Yes, and that has been my reality. I came into this country 22 years ago, and I've found that
Oh, same time as me.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the playing field has never been level, and there've been lots of research to support that, and I'm seeing that even in academia.
Hmm.
There was a recent situation. I don't want to say too much because you don't know who's watching. Where
Right.
I discovered that, and I'm like, now look at that. Look at that. I've been teaching for so many years. I've had so many years of experience at that level, and look at that. So it is a reality, and especially, God forbid, should you find yourself single.
Hmm.
Let's say you've been the what do I want to say victim of divorce, but you're not always a victim when you divorce. But let's say you find yourself a casualty of divorce,
Hmm.
and you're on your own, starting over. Let's say you have to start over. It becomes even more challenging for that woman, and so you have to know, look after yourself, prepare for your own life, and like I said, if there's some recovery you've had to do, because sometimes life throws something at you and you have
Hmm.
to recover from it,
Is
right?
this why a lot of women stay in marriages that abusive, they're not happy, whatever, whatever, whatever. The children has left, but they're still in the marriage or the relationship?
Because sometimes that's the security. It's the security, the financial security. And if you're bold enough to step away from a marriage because it was not working, and just leave with your handbag empty, right? Then it becomes another reality for you,
Hmm.
right? And I see somebody says seasons in life, and Gloria,
Yes,
yes, and
Gloria. Hmm.
yes, and it is, but again, I don't panic. I don't give in to panic. I'm just not panicking,
Yeah.
But there's a spiritual reason why I don't panic. And
I
this is
just, I was just thinking that, Charlene, I was like, you said, when you said I don't panic and all of that, my mind went to that I don't panic either. And even with my health, I don't panic, and I don't have conversations about health. I don't talk about being unalive and unaliving.
yeah,
Just about everybody knows that my husband was unalived 4 years ago, and I don't talk about it because I just don't focus on those kinds of things.
right,
So I
right.
totally get where you're going with that.
Mhm.
So that's one of the challenges, the gender pay gap that some women experience, or most women experience. The other
All
challenge
of
that I
us.
came across, huh? Sorry, Clara?
All of us.
All of
No,
us,
all
yeah.
of us.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah,
Another challenge that we face is we live longer. there's a longer life expectancy for women. Women tend to live longer than men, which means we do need to plan for more years in retirement, and what goes with retirement and that age, higher healthcare costs. That's a reality that we as women have to face. Fortunately, for those of us living in places like Canada, places in Europe where they have universal health care and so forth, it is a concern, but it is not front of burner concern in terms of the cost of healthcare. But in other places, I'm sure it is. Thoughts on that, Clara?
Um,
What's your situation? You're in insurance business in Jamaica. I know it's not health
yes,
insurance, but
yes, but okay. So for all of my working life, I have been
Mhm,
employed by a third party, and
mhm,
along with the benefits of group health and group life and whatever. But for those persons who have reached retirement, they no longer are beneficiaries for health insurance. And converting to an individual insurance, I know of persons who struggle, really struggle, because yes, we live longer, and sometimes the lifestyle diseases doesn't manifest itself until you're perhaps retired, and therefore you're not getting a contributory health insurance. And some people roll over and die because
mhm.
of lack of proper being able to afford health insurance, or being able to afford medical care. and
Charlene,
and
oh, sorry, Clara, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
even basic things like I go to the ophthalmologist or go to the dentist, those cost a pretty penny when
Yeah.
you have to go into your pocket and finance that 100%, rather than, and you may have been accustomed to just contributing 20% of those costs,
Are we
Mhm.
working
or,
40,
or,
50, 60
or
years just to end up broke, paying for and not enjoying our lives? I think this is that is at the heart of this conversation in terms of retirement. And when we say change in narrative around retirement, because when I listen to Clara, um, and I really am glad I didn't live my life that way, and I still don't, not to this day. Where you just go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work, thinking about the insurance plan, the retirement plan, and then when you retire, she said it, not I. You just that's when the illnesses come on, and then you just roll over, and that's it. It's over.
Yes, yes.
Is that life?
that's not
Well,
life, but
I,
that's how some people do it.
I,
They don't
I,
take vacations. They don't go on vacations. It's their way. But
I think
I
sometimes
don't
it's
get
a
it.
personal, sometimes it's a personal choice. Sometimes we work, we work, we work. We don't have, the new, um, it's not even, it's a catchphrase maybe, but it is, the new reality is work-life balance.
Mhm.
And when there are times when I'm in a workshop and I'm focusing on work-life balance. And I think there are a lot of us who just work and work and work. And I'll tell you something about living in North America that I have found. You have to find your work-life balance.
You
When
have
I'm
to
in
make it.
Jamaica, I have I have balance. I have the
You
beach.
have no work, but you have balance.
Huh? Tell me, I actually went home for 3 years and taught at the University of Technology, and I had balance, work life balance. On the weekend, Clara knows me. Put on my clothes, gone to my whatever is happening that I can move my body, jump up and down, and I felt that I had a richer life in Jamaica, and richer in the sense of a
Mhm, mhm.
quality of life where I there is they're friends, they're people. I'm a social animal. I cannot handle lack of social interaction. I can't
Interaction.
handle it. I will just go into a coma. So when I'm in Jamaica, I find that that's vibrant. Here, I have to find it. I have to go out and seek it. It doesn't come naturally. And then I go carry myself. I was telling you earlier, Claudette, in a
Mm-hmm.
in a place that is I'm isolated from my friends, my social network, my tribe, as I call them. And so I have to travel to get that stimulation. I'm right next to the Buffalo border, so sometimes I just drive over to Buffalo and breathe in some buffalo air and come back over to my little sleepy town, which by 6 o'clock the streets are empty. Right. So I have to balance it again.
Mm-hmm.
As an adjunct right now, I'm doing 28 hours, which is plenty. So it's a matter of personal choice sometimes. And this is not to say, oh, yes, I say that all the time, Janice. There's such a difference between being alive and living. And that's my thing. You have to find a way to live, not just to breathe, but to live. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
thanks.
that's absolutely it's and on our platform I've posted a few times now about it's called, the acronym is NEAT. And it's something that's spreading particularly among young men, but also among young women. And it means not employed or in training. So they call them, they use the acronym to describe themselves, NEAT. They're not looking for jobs. They have just checked out of the system. They
Yes.
have checked out of this rat race. And to some extent, I can't blame them.
Mhm. Mhm.
I can't blame them because, as Clara said, and I know people personally who did that, did the 9 to 5, did the always grinding, and then they retire. I had an in-law who he retired, and 2 years after retirement, he was gone.
Mhm.
Never enjoyed it.
Yes.
Never enjoyed retirement. And so that is, somebody says here, valid point, Clara, regarding having no individual insurance after retirement. It's a sad situation.
Absolutely.
It is. And it just begs the question of, can we do this differently? Can we do this differently? Because another challenge that we face as women is that we take time out of the workforce to care for our children, our elderly family members, grandchildren, and it really disrupts our ability to save consistently.
You left out one person,
Who?
husband, because very often those
Right.
we're also caring for husbands. Yes, I always when I was married, I would say I have three men in my
Three
life. My
boys.
two sons and my two sons and my husband, because you are also caring for the husband, and especially those of us from societies where the woman generally does that kind of plays that kind of role. You have to include them. You have to include them.
And the sad part is, when you look at the husband and the wife at that age, approaching retirement age, the woman always look worse than the man. Am I lying?
No,
Oh.
The,
And
the woman who
exactly.
has throughout the marriage neglected herself and
Exactly.
not pay attention to her own
I eat
needs
out, I eat out a pot cover.
and eat, yes, and sit down on the counter to eat instead of around. Yeah, those are the women. And I don't know, I cannot even speak to that because I can't relate to that. I'm sorry.
so, as I mentioned about the NEET, which is the young people who are not in employment, training, or anything like that, what I at least am seeing, and from the research, is that people are checked after COVID. A lot of people checked out. I know even here in Edmonton, Alberta, if you go downtown Edmonton, it's a ghost town. Offices are still not open. So many buildings are empty. I mean, really nice buildings. People have checked out, and people here in Alberta, you can talk about Ontario. I think when COVID hit and we were getting this $2,000 from the government over COVID, people realized, I can really live on $2,000. I don't have to eat out every night. I don't have to do fast food every day. And a lot of people, since we called it here SERB, since those SERB payments for over a year, they've not gone back to work. They've not gone back to the office environment. So the question
So how
is
do they survive now?
gig,
So
the
they
gig
still get it?
economy. Hmm? What?
They still get the
The
two
gig, the
thousand
gig,
dollars?
the gig
No, no, no.
economy. No,
That
no,
was
no,
that
no.
was a short term.
That was a one
Oh,
year
okay.
thing, 1 year,
Oh, okay.
18 months thing. But now a lot of people are doing work from home jobs. There are lots of work from home jobs online where you can be anywhere doing the work. They're in the gig economy, whether that's skip the dishes, Uber, stuff like that. And yes, it's not as lucrative in terms of it's not the 50, $60,000 a year, but people have come to realize I can live on $30,000 a year.
Mhm.
I'm going to make it work for me.
Yeah.
And so the question is, which is the next part of this conversation that I'd like to go to, what are the alternative paths to financial independence? I just mentioned a couple, but in terms of investing, that's one alternative part. I can't talk to it in terms of being an expert, and we might have an expert watching, but Clara, you mentioned that recently about exploring the stock market, buying mutual funds, or having retirement accounts like IRAs, or here we call it RRSPs or the RSP, to maximize your long-term investment. you know they tell you to set aside even a small portion of income regularly to invest in stocks or funds. I really don't know
Mhm.
how that works. I don't know if any of you know how that works, that you could meaning to explain to people.
I think that would be maybe more Clara because I'm not financially savvy. Um,
Hmm.
my financial management skills are not um, admirable. I, I try to be sensible financially, and I try to be practical financially. But honestly, I Clara, take it away, Clara.
I am no expert.
No, you're
I
no
just
expert, but and none of us are experts when it come on to finances.
no,
But I know you know
no.
about the stock
It's just
market.
that yes, because when I was made redundant 12 years ago from my long-term employment, I had to get a financial advisor, and it was at that late stage that I was introduced to the stock market. And outside of that, it's just then you realize that you were socialized or taught or advised that when you get your salary, you pay yourself first before you start paying the bills and what you pay yourself first. And you paying yourself first, that would have been regarded as your savings. But and then you try to put a little 10,000, a little 20,000, a little 10,000, a little twenty
She's
thousand,
talking
but you don't
Jamaican
know
dollars, folks.
Yes, yes,
Jamaican
Jamaican.
dollars. Yes, that's Jamaican dollars. That's what I earn.
No, no,
But
it's just that somebody
when you
watching
try
from
to
the States will understand where you
yeah,
get $10,000
Yeah,
I
from.
because
know.
it sounds like a lot of
It
money.
sounds like a lot of money. It's $100. We're talking about
Exactly.
$100 or so. Okay.
Mhm.
Anyway, you notice that you get very little return on that kind of savings.
Yes,
Mhm.
So over a period of time, then that is when you're advised to pull, either buy stocks or get certificates of deposit, take out an annuity endowment fund. For those of us with children, then your children can benefit if and when you pass before a certain period of time, depending on how long you have that for. So those are the some of the instruments that I personally have. And
Mhm.
if I'm talking to a sister, I can recommend, yes, go speak to an advisor and see how you
mhm.
manage your money. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
outside of, I mean, it is much more, it takes much more than setting aside a particular sum per month. That doesn't add up to much when you get to
Okay.
40 and 50 and
Another
beyond.
another alternative path to financial independence, we might say, is having a side hustle. You know, even if you're employed, having a side hustle. Many women over 40 can leverage their skills. We have so many skills by the time we get to this age, or
Yes.
hobbies that you can use to generate additional income, either through freelance work, consulting, or selling goods online. And I noticed a comment, you know, and I want to address it. um, I know Colleen well, so I know she don't mean it that way, but I know that there are people who mean it that way. When
Mhm.
she says they live off social media now, some people say that in a derogatory way. It's nothing to scoff at.
Mm-mm.
Social media is a business,
Yes.
and it is a marketplace as well as it's a workplace. Content creators make money off social medias, and I hear people decrying people who are on social media and they're for the money. The only issue I have with people on social media doing it just for the money is when they mislead the public.
Mhm.
You know, is when they lie about their true intentions. So they come and they say they're doing charity when they're not doing charity, they're making money for themselves. You
Right.
know, that's just one example, glaring example that comes to my mind, my pet peeve. But it's a side hustle. It's a side hustle, and for some people, a lucrative one. You know, I saw today, there's this fellow who they say is Jamaica's most high profile person, or one of high profile person on TikTok. They call him World Dog. Um, he's making a good living off of social media. Don't scoff at it. It's nothing to scoff at. It's a side hustle that we have started here, Charlene, to you're welcome, Colleen, for clarifying it for you. We have started here to pay more attention to our YouTube channel, not to make more money, but because not hear me, not to make more money, not to make money necessarily. If it comes, it comes, but because Facebook tends to be so rigid, and almost like a censor, Facebook.
Mhm.
So places like TikTok and YouTube allows greater creativity. But you can make money, and people are making money. Look at Mr. Beast. He's a millionaire from YouTube. And so being on YouTube more recently, I've noticed a lot of people on YouTube are saying over 40 men and women should start a channel on YouTube
Yes. Yes.
because it's a potential income. It's a side hustle. What do you
Something to
think
go.
about that, Charlie? Huh? What do
Well,
you?
I'm glad you brought that up because I would have found a way to interject that. I
Okay.
am I'm on social media and I engage selectively.
Mhm.
And for sure that's the alternative for some. I also heard someone talking about why aren't we using the skills that we have acquired over all these years, living past certain decades, I'm 6 decades now. Why not? And I don't think we should scoff at it. I think it's valid and it's an alternative. I'm a hustlepreneur. I'm a hustlepreneur. Clara, you know that. Clara, confirm, Clara.
Yes,
I I don't I think I've had over 20 side hustles throughout my lifetime. Maybe 20 and counting. And
20
I'm not
and counting, because I'm sure that since we met, you've gone 20.
there you go. Listen, I'm not
Hi,
ashamed.
Carly. Good night.
Good night. Good night. I am not ashamed. I remember a person that I was close to saying to me when he noticed that I was on my hustle, never broke, said to me, for someone who's educated, you know, you have too many hustles. I'm like,
Too
hello.
many hustles.
I'm like, I went to school I was smart before I went to school. I went to school because I felt that it was a path that I wanted to go in. And to be honest with you, sometimes, and I know I'm going to say this and maybe get a little bit of flack, sometimes education is overvalued. Okay? Education is important, but sometimes it's overvalued. And let me explain that for those who may say,
Please,
she's an
yes.
educator and saying that. I don't believe everybody is going to take that path. I chose that path on my own. I never started college until I was 23, which at the time I felt like I was old because most of my peers were like 17, 18, and I studied in the US. But overvalued meaning that it is important that you get yourself an education enough to so you can manage, because that is what has enabled me to garner my
The
position
20
as an
hustles.
educator, right? But if you have a hustle and you never go to school, how many people are making money and they didn't. I'm not saying don't go to
Yep.
school. I'm not saying that, but I'm also saying, what if that's not your choice? I have a son, and I'm talking about him now. My second son, he said, "Mom, college is not for me." I'm like, "Okay, baby,
Not everybody. It's not for
what you want to
everybody.
do?" I'm an educator, and I'm not going to say to my son, "You have to go." He started when he called me and told me he was quitting. I'm like, "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God," because he was not enjoying it. And I didn't want him to the stress level. And we know that there's that side of it for people
Yep.
who felt that they had to go through that route. So side hustles are good, and I have multiple side hustles, and I will always. I don't think uh, before I became a hustlepreneur, I used to say I'm a higgler, but now I sell things. I'm a consultant. I do facilitation. I am called to speak. I have multiple
And
ways of.
those are hustles.
They're my hustle, and it's a friend of mine who dubbed me a hustlepreneur, and so that's my thing. And it's okay. It's okay. Why do we have to look down on people who, as long as you're not
Exactly.
hurting anyone and your money is clean?
And that exactly, Charlie, and that's just what I was saying. That's the only issue I have with some of the people on social media, in that it's not clean,
Yes.
and they really have no. I see some of them passing themselves off as psychologists. They're not psychologists.
Mhm.
You know, acknowledge you're talking from your life experience. You're not a
Yes.
psychologist,
Mhm.
and like you said,
Right.
Charlene, we have skills, which leads me to the next point about alternative paths to financial independence. We have skills. We had previous careers. So it's a good way to explore how can you use those skills that you gain over the past 40 years and pivot, to
Mm.
stay competitive in the workforce, or to stay competitively earning some money. So, women, for example, with decades of experience in whatever, you can turn this knowledge into a new business, like you, Charlene, a coaching service or doing consulting work. I have all of my life been in public speaking, writing speeches, and so forth. And if I may say so myself, I'm an excellent writer. I can close my eye and write anything. So you get to the point when you get to our age, and you say, okay, what are my skill sets, and how can I turn this into something to take me through retirement? And that is how I believe that retirement is going to look in the future, for many people,
Mhm.
myself included.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
I,
So
I
Doreen says stocks and bonds are relatively safe as investment instruments. However, obtaining real benefits are long term. Returns can be lucrative. Everyone who can afford to should endeavor to invest in these. Great, good to
thanks
know.
for that. Right. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So so there we have it. There are alternative ways for us to make money. We don't have to panic. Those are the points that we have made. We know what are the challenges that led a lot of women to this point where they don't find themselves with a 401k or this massive nest egg for retirement. So they have to look for other ways to make money to take them over their retirement years. And I really don't think we should look down at people who don't have the nest eggs, because there are other ways of earning a living. No. So let's just look at some. I'm sure you might know a couple or at least one, Charlene, a public figure, for example, who achieved financial independence later in life. You know, we talk about Oprah Winfrey all the time, who is well known. But what about this woman like, say, Ariana Huffington? She was well past her 50s when she founded Huffington Post.
Mhm.
She founded when I think she was 55 when she founded Huffington Post. What is it called? Huffington Post. And
Okay.
she sold it for $315 million
There you
6 years after finding it. You know, there's so many, if you go through history, so many self-made people and who started later in life. Do you anyone comes to mind for you, Charlene, or
Well, this is
your life?
an older person that I read about 10 years ago. The KFC guy
Yeah,
in the 60s, right?
yeah.
And while everybody can relate to KFC, so that's why I chose him. But there are others, of course, and I just want to interject by saying we have to stop allowing age, because ageism is
Age.
real. Age and fear to paralyze us. Because I hate this phrase, why am I too old for this? Jesus,
Yeah.
don't even I don't even like to use the age thing. I use it playfully. But on a serious note, stop allowing age and fear to paralyze you. Do what you want to do. Go do it. Do it at 50, 60, 70, whatever age you are at. As long as you have the mental capacity, the physical ability, just do it.
Take basically what you're saying. Take the risk.
Take the risk. What you have to lose. All right, what you have
Nothing.
to lose. You lose if you've had
Exactly.
if you've made it to this stage and we've had experiences, life experiences, lived experiences. What do you have to lose if you go after that thing, that one thing that when you're good at it too, because you can close your eyes and do it like you and
Yep.
your writing, right? So look how many things women are good at. I'm telling you, women are good at a lot, and men too. But this is all about
This is all about women.
right, right. We're good at so many things. Gee, I mean, I if I could live 3 lifetimes, I probably wouldn't do all the things I'm good at. I'm good at so many things, and I had to affirm myself the other day. I'll tell you quickly. I'm fixing up my laundry room. I turned my laundry room into a studio for my podcast that's coming up soon, and I'm like, I did it in 1 week, and I'm like, girl, you're good. Clara knows my decorating skills, but I'm good. And we have to stop
Mm-mm.
not affirming ourselves.
Yeah.
Affirm that you're good, and then go do it. I could do this for somebody. I could make this
You
a business.
could.
I could make this a business, set up home offices, and I do some of that too, but I'm just saying, go after it. Stop giving into that fear and that narrative about you're too old. Stop saying that. I wish they would
My
stop saying
daughter
I
is
am.
not my daughter is not over 40, but she has like 2 companies
Mhm.
and 3 or 4 profession. A nurse. She does what they call it charcuterie board. She does
Mm.
excellent boards. Excellent. She's a
Yeah.
hairstylist. She's a top in Edmonton. She was one of the top colorists. You
Mhm.
know, she this world today that we live in, age doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-mm.
It's the skills that you have
Yes.
and how you best use the skills. And what,
And
what I
exposure.
what I detest, or maybe detest is too strong a word, is when my sisters of my own age, when they have so much talent, hidden talents, and they refuse. I'm going to pick on her since she's online. Colleen Delamoto. She's here watching us now. I remember when Colleen started working even more closely with us here at the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. And I would say to her, Colleen, you want to do a Sunday Spirit or support? And she would say, okay. And this woman would come forward with, even now, she would come forward with some videos that I was like, you know, um, she's great. And I was so shocked the other day when she said to me, I'm always scared doing these things, or when you ask me to
Yeah.
come on a live, but she overcome the fear. And what's produced in the end? It's fantastic.
Mhm.
She writes poems. She's an educator like yourself. And, it's, and when I look at women like this, when I look at women like yourself, who's a how you pronounce it? Hustlepreneur?
Hustlepreneur, darling. Hustlepreneur.
When I see hustlepreneurs like you said, because like I'm at a transition stage in my life. The other day I had to do Farah will tell you that I used to be a book person. I read like crazy. And the other day I was to go do a test and I refused to do it. I was like, I'm done. I am done taking exams. I am not doing not one damn more exam. I'm done.
Yeah.
So, so now I'm at a transition point in my life where, okay, what are the skills I have? How am I going to use those skills to become a hustlepreneur? Now I have a new title for
Yes.
myself.
Use it, darling. It's yours. I have not copyrighted it yet, so you can use it.
I can go and use it.
Yeah,
All
go
right.
and use it. Yeah. You can borrow it.
It's a question of, and as we approaching our closing here, it's a question of the world is no longer the way it used to be.
No.
The white picket fences are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Even the celebrities, we're learning that they're all fake and they're all frauds. Well, most of them. If they're not into baby oil, they're into drugs. They're into they're into something that most of us don't want anything to do with. That myth has been debunked. So we are in. This feels to me like I'm projecting here. This feels to me like how the people back in the days felt when the Industrial Revolution was happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Totally.
in a we're in a the information revolution started long ago, but we
Mm-hmm.
in a I don't even know what to call it. You are the wordsmith, Charlene. But we are at a point now where it's a different world.
It's a different era. It's a different reality. It's what was no longer exists. And we have to just look on, we have to almost just wipe the slate clean and get with the program, because those old way of thinking, those old notions, there we have, everything has been revolutionized. And it's funny, if I may just say this quickly, I
Oh,
spoke to
please,
someone
please.
today, and he was saying, he was talking about the past, and so I'm like, listen, we have to stop it as big people, we have to stop talking about what was. And these young people, you have to get into this
Yep.
century, this era where what your grandmother used to do, maybe some of the values you want to
Hold
keep,
on to.
but you
You
cannot
still,
talk about the this and oh, the young people them stay. So I teach young people and I learn a lot from them, and I will stay forever young because of their energy.
Yep.
Stop talking about, oh, them and them. I said, you use your phone. We are in a different reality. So stop.
Different reality.
And I find it's the people of this age group, they are the ones that they're gonna get left behind. But why should we get left behind when we are valid? We have to see that we are valid.
People talk about AI and so forth, but if you put nonsense into AI, you're going to get nonsense out.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
people like us who understand how language works, people like us who understand investment, we still have skills that even AI will need.
Yep.
We have information that AI will need. So, if you put SHIT into whatever AI system you're
Mhm.
using, you're going to get back shit. If you're not
Absolutely.
able to critique what the
shit
AI put
floods.
out
Yes.
and edit it, and this, you're going to get nonsense.
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yep.
So, as older people, and not just women here now, as older people, we need to get over ourselves and this idea that we have to, if you have it, you have it. If you don't, don't murder your, this thing and the words. Don't end your session on earth because your life does not look like Clara's.
Mhm.
You
Right.
know,
Using
you
Clara as an
I'm
example,
using Clara as an example.
hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, Clara
Clara,
girl always messing with her. All she gonna do is turn off our camera.
and fix our necklace.
Yeah, not
Yes.
all of us have had the ability, whether it is because of the pay gap, whether it's because you had to come out of the workplace to take care of family, children, whatever the reason that caused your income not to be at the level where you have a nice retirement coming. It's not over. There are so many people, back to Colleen, where she was saying about them making money off of social media. Yeah. Why?
Mhm.
And why shouldn't you?
Mhm.
Why shouldn't all of
I
us?
want to know. I'm studying the grades. I'm studying them right now. I'm actually looking at people who are doing that because that is a lesson, and I have my students doing research on that because
Mhm.
I'm teaching a course in communications, and I'm saying to them, okay, I want you to. This is a research that you're going to do, and you're going to present it in class. Look at all the
Mhm.
people who are finding alternative ways of making money, and
Yeah.
don't look down on it. Don't knock it.
No.
You know.
No. I see people all the time talking about when I relate it to my writing skills. They're talking about they're writing books using AI to help them to write books, and then they sell it online. They sell it $1, $2 a copy, and they're earning $10,000 a month. And I'm like, really? You can do that? Okay, I have to look into that.
Absolutely. Why not though? Why not though, Claudette?
Why
I
not?
mean, didn't we use encyclopedia in the days to get our research done? It's
Exactly.
just a new form of encyclopedia. I've cautioned my students not to go rely on it totally because I promote critical thinking. But
Hmm.
why not? I use it as my when I'm doing courses and I'm outlining my course. I use it to guide me, and then I fill in the content.
You have to fill it
I mean,
in.
why you want to reinvent the wheel? You just use it, with caution. That's it.
And that's part of the caution. It's part of understanding where we are now as a world.
Mhm.
And even when we talk about women's empowerment, time has come.
Yes.
Time has come for women to take our rightful place. I'm not saying ahead of men, but we're no longer going to be subjugated because it's a different world. It's a
Yes.
completely different world. And that's what I have on this topic. Anything you have to add, Clara? Okay, let's hear what others have to say. Colleen says, I need to become a hustlepreneur. So it's spelled.
That's wow. Yes, that's exactly how it's spelled, my
She's
dear.
an educator.
Yes,
Okay.
entrepreneur. You got it, girl.
It is how it. Oh, and Janice is talking about how you use AI. Yes, absolutely,
Absolutely.
Janice. Absolutely. And Gloria says AI is a great researcher.
It,
It is. It is.
it
It
has its
makes.
pros and it has its cons. So,
Yep.
yep,
It
Like
makes.
everything else, eh?
like everything else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This how you
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Charlene, for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I had
I
fun.
just want to wrap this up, and if either of you have anything that you want to add to it, is how can we take control of our financial future in a new world? Because it is in fact a new world. It is essential for us as women over 40 to focus, yes, on being financially independent, but not just for retirement, but for our personal sense of belonging, our personal worth, our personal empowerment, and it is essential for us to, as we discuss, overcome challenges like gender pay gap. Okay, so they're not paying you enough on the job. What can you do about it? Can you engage in a side hustle to supplement your income? Or are we just going to keep every day sit down, fighting, cussing, saying that they're not paying us enough? What are you going to do about it? And as we live longer, um, it's time that we start to look at alternative wealth building strategies like we have been discussing, investing, having the side hustles, and upskilling, using our skills and upgrading whatever skills we have. That's what I took from this conversation. Is there anything else that you ladies would like to add before we go?
I'd like to say that it is very important that we do not give in to fear. as advanced people advancing in age. I don't want to use the old thing, because I don't know what's old is no longer useful. So as we
Mm-hmm,
advance in age, I think we should not give in to fear. Go after the things that you know you have the gifts, and we all have gifts, and just live. Just live and live without fear, and do it. Just do it. I'm gonna steal
mm-hmm.
Nike's tagline. Just do it. Just do it. And do
Absolutely.
the research. Look, ask for advice. Don't be afraid to call upon a young. I call my young students. I say, anybody know how to set up my podcast equipment? And before you know it, I have a few
It's
students.
fixed up.
Yeah. So I'm like, ask the younger people. Go to them as well, because they also it's a new world.
It's a new word. And, I have found, just on a personal level, you might not know how to set up the podcast, but they don't know how to write a proper letter.
There you go.
They need funding,
So you
and
can do a
you
little
Yeah,
have that
exchange,
exchange.
skill to exchange.
exchange
Yeah.
of
Exchange.
skills exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Clara, any final words from you?
Just to add that panic cripples.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no point in doing it. It really does. And for me personally, I don't plan to retire. I transition to another phase.
Yep.
When I get to that age,
You
I'll
said that
transition.
Charlene, when we started, you said you don't like the word retirement.
No,
It's
no.
irrelevant now.
No,
As you say,
I don't believe in
as
it. I don't believe in it. So
the title is
therefore,
what? F retirement. I'll say it. Okay. I'll say it. Luck, I say luck retirement.
so
Good luck retirement.
so my my plans, my plan, and the transition will mean for me, yes, there's not going to be the 9 to 5, but I've done enough of that. I would have done enough of that. And
Yes.
Mhm.
whatever else I do will not involve that.
Yes.
It might involve a 24 hour because I'll be doing it for myself.
Yeah.
And therefore, whatever creative energy I have to pour into that, I know that we're not
Right.
doing it for the guy with great,
We're
where
gonna
we
look
are.
forward to that when she reach like 35.
Yeah, when she
Yeah,
reached
yeah,
35. Yeah, because right now
yeah.
she's just
That's a good
29.
that's a
I don't
good
29.
even know
age.
why she
That's a good
even
age.
thinking about it. Yeah.
That's a good age. That's a good age. So
Right, right, Clara.
did Charlene talk about planning? Yeah, she did.
That's it, my darling.
Well,
That's it.
thank you,
Yes, yes,
Charlene, for
yes.
being here with us
And
tonight as we get rid of this word retirement.
yes,
Because the world has changed. Nobody is retiring or has to retire. And by not retiring, it doesn't mean you're going to keep working for the man.
yes,
You can
yes.
start to
Exactly.
build your own wealth at 50, at 60. We just really need to get over ourselves with this outdated retirement narrative
Yes.
and create a future that reflects your needs, your desires. For just again to use myself as an example, right now, I just love being with my granddaughters. So I am creating a life around them, around their schedule, one that fits for me and what I like doing. And that is what we want to encourage every woman watching this right now or later on to what what floats your boat?
Mm-hmm.
What There's this guy who I listen to or watch on YouTube. His name is, oh my god. Anyway, Tucker, something Tucker. And but he's into universal metaphysics and so forth. And he says, if you get up in the mornings and you are not excited about saying, what am I going to do today? What am I going to learn today? Who am I going to help today? Just go back to your bed. Just go back to your bed. And I truly,
That's the point.
honestly believe that,
Mm-hmm.
and especially when we get to this age, if you're getting to this age and you're colors of the bed and frustrated and worried about you're going to lose a job today because of ageism, it's time to start planning for your after the 9 to 5.
Hustle,
You can start doing it now.
hustlepreneur
Your
type.
hustle. How are you
Yes.
going to be? We're going to use that word, hustlepreneur. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Charlene. We're going to
It looks
use
like
it. We'll copyright it
Clara,
quickly.
I have to go copyright it tomorrow, Clara, because
I'm telling you,
That's
if
part of
if
that's part of the hustling. That's
because
part of the
yes,
hustling.
yes,
if
because it looked like it ought to take off.
if
But I
you
want to say
follow
something.
us, if you follow us, and you're going to see that word,
That's
hear that word. No, one thing
wonderful.
with Claudette is that I always credit people. So I will say, as our friend Charlene Fagan taught us, we are hustlepreneurs.
Claudette, I just want to add one thing to
Please.
because I just feel called to add this. Do not watch what you say about yourself, please. And this is to the outside world of women, especially. Stop. Every day when somebody asks me how I'm doing, I say fantastic. And do you know that's how I feel all the time? It has become who I am. I feel fantastic. I have a little knee pain right now, working on, but but I do feel fantastic.
You're
So we have to watch
fantastically
our
working
minds.
on it.
I'm working on it. And what we
Fantastically.
say, we have to watch what we say. Speak the
Oh, how
things
you
that
speak
you
it
want
over
to
your
happen.
life.
Speak
Yeah.
the things you want to happen. If you want to
Yeah.
feel fantastic, say I'm feeling fantastic, even with the knee pain. So, which I'm about to address when we come off camera.
Just to read what Caroline said, make sure that you have a seat at the table or face the risk of being a menu item. Means nobody damn menu item. That's why I've never been on a job for 10 years. Like
Me too,
Charlene,
sister.
I think the longest I've been on a job is 4 years. I don't wait around to be named. Nobody will name me.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely not for free. Anyway, thank you so much, ladies. Charlene, I hope we can do it
Thank
again.
you.
And
Oh, we will. We shall.
we are looking forward to the launch of your podcast. Tell the people what's the name and where they will be able to find
It
it.
will be, it is already titled Let's Chat with Phenomenal Shar. And that's me.
Okay. And where will we
Yeah.
find it? Where will it
It will
be?
be on YouTube, and I'm looking at other platforms as well. So I have an Instagram page, I have a YouTube channel, but I am sort of talk about revamp. I'm revamping and revising and coming back stronger.
We look forward to it. There cannot be enough over 40 women and over 29 women
Plus,
who
plus, plus.
29 plus women um, out here sharing, because no matter how them think them know everything, they don't.
Yes,
And so we look forward to when your podcast is launched, and
yes,
we are ready to come on it too, because we are
absolutely.
hustlepreneurs.
Yes, yes. Thanks again for the inclusion. I appreciate it. Thank you,
Oh,
C.
please. Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
my
Good night,
darling.
everybody.
Oh,
And we
it's
will.
three C's. Ladies, it's three C's.
Oh,
Did you
yes.
notice that?
Yes.
Yes. And please join us on Thursday evening at 8:30 when I will be here with a very special guest. And we're going to be talking sex. Bye.
Oh, I'll
And
see
it's a
you.
man.
All right.
And I haven't in a while, so this is going to be hot.
All right. Thanks, ladies.
Bye.